Hood Postman, City, Hood, Click. Let's go.
Be very careful who you talk to, because you'll never know who the informant is, who the cooperating witness may be, and you never know, somebody who was a friend today may have been flipped the night before and become your enemy tomorrow.
About humanity, putting truth in these lines, while they busy feeding lies. When you got that tunnel vision, gotta open up your eyes. Wake up and go to sleep. Man, I'm praying all times. And to my guys, ain't no other side. This for my brothers, I'ma pray with y'all shine. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Yeah, you already know.
Depending on the lessons, some people eat, some people learn. But the game is going to send you a big. Lock the door.
Lock the door. The game is going to send you a bill, and that's without a doubt. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation and the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. Be sure to click that notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when the dope content hit, it'll feel like the first and the 15. Welcome to the mailroom. When you come in, take a look at your mind, examine what's in your heart. You go anywhere in the world to get a couple of lies, but you come right here to get the truth, and the truth you shall receive. This is not a glamorization or a glorification. It's always an education. Get on the bus, and let me take you to school. I am the bus driver. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. It's Marlena Williams. What's going on? What's good? And everybody else, I can't really see that. I know they got this thing in there. Share your referral link. Yeah, well, I ain't got no referral link. But anyway, I'll find out what all that means in a meanwhile, between time. Let's get to the content. The street. Listen, guys. How did the street politics become hostage to social media? And I want to delve into that a little bit today. And I want to give you guys a pretty much just a real cut and straight type of dialogue, or just how my perception and experience of that reality is. And then you guys will be able to make up your own minds about what you feel is right or what you feel is wrong. I don't, I have my own opinions. I go look at certain things that I read, and then I come to full understanding about certain things, and then I just give my commentary on it, and that's really what content creating is about, is idea writing and thinking and just having that theater of the mind and be able to put it back out there that you guys get it. Well, first and foremost, I want to talk about MDCLA. Let's talk about that. There seems to be a lot of misinformation, and people are making content from MDCLA, which is the Federal Metropolitan Detention Center, downtown LA on Alameda. When it comes to Big U, Loose Cannon, and Brick Baby, first and foremost, they're not going to put Big U on the floor like that. They're going to do what is called, they're going to put an assessment. They're going to put him in, basically, his first few days, and it may be his entirety, may be spent in the hole based on his street influence and who he is and how he's able to control stuff. That's how the feds is going to look at him. So he may not even be on the floor he may be in the hole. Secondly, if you have a fight in MDCLA, they're gonna ship you to different. They're gonna put you everybody in the hole, and then when you come out, everybody's going to different floors. And then they also have what is called separatees. Separatees is when people unknown or unknown to you are actually willing to testify against you in the court of law. They had did a proper, they had been a queen for the day, they had did a proper, and they offered substantial assistance to the U.S. attorney. So they're going to keep all that separate. And you're not going to know that unless you go to trial, and then you file the in limine motion to where you get all that. That's at the threshold where you get all the information pertaining to everybody that's on the case, everybody that's hiding behind curtains, everybody that's throwing rocket behind their hands. You'll be able to get all that, right? So let me get into it. The rise of social media transformed the landscape of gang culture, and it changed the influence and the dissemination on platforms such as No Jumper, Vlad, even the Art of Dialogue, and the other guy, Boss Talk. And I'm not saying that these guys are fully invested in what they do, but they are invested in their platforms as far as views, likes, and monetization. So they use their platforms to ask questions, right? But there's a way to do an interview and there's a way not to do an interview, and we're gonna get into that. So a lot, Twitter, and also Twitter and various other podcasts are doing this, and it has become a vital source of real-time information, user sentiment, and public opinion. As the government seeks to navigate this complex digital world environment, intelligent gathering and analysis and on social media have an essential tool. They have an essential tool for this strategy. Social media has become a tool for the government, guys. It is to keep them informed of what's going on, what's trending, what's happening, if there's a shift change or there's different people doing different things. They are using this, guys. And when you go on these different platforms and you don't know how to speak, you on there coming up with word salads, and then especially the guys that say, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? No, I don't know what you're saying. No, I don't know what you mean. And then they using filler words to try to pump themselves up, and then you come with the braggadocious, the bombastic, then the super crip or the super blood. They get on there and they just, the other day I seen this dude on there, he greased up like a grease monkey. I don't know what his problem. He got tattoos all on his face. So people like that, the government has already singled them out, and tailored them. There's a part of Donald Trump that's already talking about, shipping Americans to the prison over in Salvador. They are behind the scenes, enemy combatants. They will label you. And once they do that, you got the look, you got the persona, and you carrying yourself in these lines, you're going to do. There's nothing wrong talking about stuff that has already been adjudicated, stuff that's already have a statute of limitation. There's nothing wrong with that. Or people that's no longer here. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're talking about recent stuff, you are in trouble, boy. You are in trouble. So the central tools for strategy assessment and intel networks, intel gathering, social media serve as a rich repository of recent guys crimes within the statute of limitations. This is recent stuff that these people be getting on there. We saw Loose Cannon. That's probably why he got the name. He's a Luke Cannon. He just on there just talking, and the whack turning over looking at him, and letting him go, and they always like ushering him or egging him on, It's reflecting the current violation and offenses of hashtags, trends, and access how different demographics, how they move. That's what's happening. They focusing on that. By analyzing the data, the government can gauge public sentiment and anticipate reaction. And it's tailored these strategies accordingly to one key reason of utilization. These platforms has the ability to discern trends and patterns over time. This is what the government is doing, guys. By employing data analytics tools, the government can track change and chance in user engagement. They can focus on user engagement, how whatever you on, they can get into that. You know what I mean? We talked about the ODIN, where it's on device interception tool. We talked about the LBT cameras, licensed vehicle tracking. We talking about all these different cameras that is loud in sight, that is filming everything, and it's a shift in public discourse and an emergency of sensationalism, sensationalized content that prioritizes views and monetization. That's what these guys do. They prioritize the views and the monetization. They give a damn about you as an individual. This information enables the government to come along and stay ahead of the curve, adapting to evolve in this landscape of what we now know as social media. Social media is virtual and the real life is physical. You cannot conflate the two. There's two different things. I was watching No Jumper, right? He was doing an interview. And I want y'all to pay close attention about this interview because I'm going to show you how this young man, I was proud of this young man, how he handled it. Well, let's watch this.
I saw this video that alleged that it was you involved in this crazy ass shootout. What was that situation? Maybe it might not have been you. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't think it was me.
Okay. But that wasn't related to any of the cases that you caught? Well played. Okay. So... It's kind of hard to pick another question after that.
People generally laugh when they know they don't effed up. You see how that young man played that? He played that straight how it's supposed to be played. He didn't do like this other guy. Let me show you this guy that came in all greased up, shiny. I don't know, was he, he came in there with a bottle of baby oil or olive oil. I don't know what was going on with this young man, but watch this.
And I went to EF. That's when I had ran into Big Sad, you feel me, as a young kid.
Oh, shit,
he was in there popping it like he was just some hard young dude, you feel me, with a gap tooth.
And this is before the music and everything?
Before all that, man, we like little ass kids, you feel me? He was like a little goofball ass kid, always be like quiet, you feel me? Like I'm just now learning how to really get outspoken because I've been out at the pen for a nice little amount of time. I'm getting my energy and shit back, you feel me? But I always used to be quiet, mind my business, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people will think like you soft. You know what I'm saying? Even if you working out, you doing your program, people will just be like, oh, you like, he don't never like say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, and that just was a situation. So I had to throw piss in his face.
Wait a minute.
You know what I'm saying? I had to throw piss in his face. And that's an EF. He already know Los Padrinos. Nigga, don't act like you forgot.
Wait, break down the situation.
See how he kept turning and looking in the camera to make sure that he was making that point. Now, that's how you don't do an interview because you're causing a situation with another guy that's actually a podcaster, for what I understand. And I don't know what was that all about. I have no idea. I don't know. I know that people tend to limit themselves by saying they this or that. That is a limited perspective. When you can just say, hey, either you just deeply entrenched in blue rag or you deeply entrenched in red rag, you just limit it. You're very limited, and you're expendable to the world. The world has no use for you. The world is going to spit you out at some point, and you're not going to like where you wind up at based on your behavior, based on, because the game of life is a game of boomerangs. Sooner or later, your actions and deeds will come back to hit you 100% with extreme accuracy. So when we see these people, dealing, and I know that boss talk, I know he don't mean no harm, but sometimes when he gets certain individuals on his platform and he asking these crazy questions and they sitting up there answering this stuff, it's just mind blowing to me. Same thing. That's what happened to Keefy D. The same exact thing. The art of dialogue. He went on art of dialogue, Vlad, and all this stuff. He was just divulging information. Nobody was twisting his arm or any of that, because, and then at the end of the day, you really can't blame these platforms, because everybody know these platforms are designed to make money. They are paying these people to come on and say the most ridiculous, heinous things they can say. That's going to agitate, that's going to feed the narrative, and that's going to often put people in predicaments, and they're going to lie. They're gonna do. If I don't know what Adam 22 paid these people. I don't know. Maybe he give them $1,000 or $500 or $1,500. I don't know, but I know they pay. And when they pay, we saw how Keefy D called himself up because he was earning money. He earned money by going on these different platforms. And anytime you see anybody that goes to these different platforms, these platforms that have 200,000, 300,000, a million, or whatever plus followers, they able to compensate these people, and they can come on in. If they good story, they good at telling stories, they're gonna come spin a narrative. But here's the problem. The problem is why y'all keep looking at them. Why y'all keep believing this stuff? Like this is really like, because Billy Kid was one time was the fastest gun in the West. But every day he had to prove that. At some point, somebody gunned him down. And that's what's going to happen. You're not going to be able to stage off all these. I don't care how good you fight or how good you think you shoot or whatever your thing may be. At some point, the game going to send you a bill. Simple as that. Then there's another theory that I took. Man, they're putting on these guys, all these guys' addresses on the internet and all that stuff. That's just, but that's just karma. That's just karma when people record people and put that stuff back out there, unknown to the person, he being recorded or whatever. I saw Munchie B on there. He was talking to both big, I think, what is that? Christopher Lovejoy and Wack, and they was having a back and forth, and I was cringing, bro. I was really cringing because some of the stuff I don't think he should have said. I just don't think, and I don't know why he said it, but he said it, And we all make mistakes, guys. But at this point, this stuff is like when crack hit. There was no precedence. There was nobody walking around showing you what the outcome of being addicted to that or what it would be, And the same thing with this internet. Nobody knows but now we're beginning to see. When you start seeing people get locked up, you start seeing people get indicted, you start seeing things are happening to people, because they said check in and don't let your feet hit the ground. Don't get off the plane and let your feet hit the ground if you ain't checked in. All that stuff is coming back to haunt them. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it's true. And then you find out there's other situations going on behind the scenes, and people was, tapped in with them feds, and then that whole no jumper stuff. Let's get into that right here. Let's listen to this. Listen to this.
He can't live without the internet. He the only nigga I know that runs 24-hour rooms in Clubhouse. I understand the algorithm shit, but he's a little bit infatuated with the internet. You take no jumper away from that nigga fuck around and have a stroke. I'm not lying. Dead homies, Adam told us, nigga. That nigga went up there begging for his job and was pointing out the homies in the motherfuckers of famous video, nigga. And like I said, I don't fuck with SBGB. He did too much IBM loose slander. I don't even fuck what he said about whack. But he did mention some shit that I seen. Why the fuck would you come back up to No Jumper and bring the evidence of a robbery back up there? Oh, here go to watch. What the fuck? Put everything in place. No Jumper was already being watched at that time. Even if you say, well, maybe not, it started being watched the next day after when that video hit online. So why the fuck you bringing that motherfucking watch up there? You basically said, here's the proof that somebody got robbed. Do y'all not see what the fuck's going on? Everybody seen the video, niggas seen who was involved with the No Jumper beatdown, and you come and bring the watch and say, well, it wasn't $5,000 and shit, it was just this. It don't matter what it is. If I beat a nigga up right now and take a Tootsie Roll out of his pocket, nigga, that's robbery, nigga. You see what I'm saying? No, I'm not loose cannon brother. We don't fuck with loose cannon brother here, weirdo. I don't fuck with loose cannon brother. But this is what he do, and people are blinded to what he's doing up there. It's a lot of people that's not blinded though. You got smart niggas that's looking in like this nigga is literally giving them a case. Here go to evidence from the robbery. Here goes me.
Yeah, I don't. Like I say, I just to see some of this stuff, and then I tried it. I try not to have be surprised, like a aha moment, like wow, like. But at the same time, hey, how can you not, And how can you not know that No Jumper is set up for intelligence gathering? Go back all the way to S-Ball. No longer here. Go back to the I don't know the guy name, BG Duck or whatever his name is, and the guy Quando Rondo and all these different people, S-Mac, Crip Mac, and then all these other people that goes to jail or get killed or something, or they get fired, and it just, you gotta say something is happening that No Jumper that nobody's really talking about, but it's happening. And how is it not being circulated? And how do people still find a way to go get in their car and drive to No Jumper and jump on the podcast? When podcast and the idea of content creating is based on the individual. It's about your input. It's about your idea, your creativity, your intelligence. How are you going to pour into it? This time when I don't have time for this. I was just, spending time with my grandson, and he had an amazing, amazing graduation. The pop-out prom, we popped out for him, We had the Cullinan, we had the Rolls Royce Cullinan, we had the Lamborghini truck there too. We had, we everything was just laid out. Everything, A lot of money was spent, but yeah, they're well spent though, So when I'm doing stuff like that, I don't have time for social media. I don't wake up every morning or every night thinking about, I understand that people make a good living from it. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I do what I do on it, and I just try to share information. I just give y'all my opinion about it, and you guys are able to take from that, and you're able to, move on, or look at other situations and then remember what I said and then use it as a comparison to say, nah, I don't think this is right. I don't think this should be happening like that, but it's only happening in our community. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Why people are out there popping their fans and doing electric slide and the wobble and all this other stuff. The government is taking away Black history, taking away Black monuments, statues, removing Obama's picture out the White House, and taking down everything that Jackie Robinson did, a decorated veteran, among other, and his baseball accolades and everything else, And then you hear people say, "Yeah, I voted for Trump." Like Trump is nothing, bro. Trump is not there for you. He's not there for you, And if you don't know that, then that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate if you don't know that. You know, Trump has never been poor, so he don't know how you live or how you came up or how you moved yourself up through. You went from maybe this economical social status to the next, to the next, to the next, and finally you somewhere comfortable where you have a nice home, a few cars, and a few hobbies, and and you're okay. Trump don't know that. Trump came into life rich, but he's ruined every business. And what he hasn't been able to do is market his name quite well. He's marketed his name really, really well. And now he's going after his political rivals, and he's using the power of the president, executive office, to do it, you know. And everybody seems to be okay with it, By I say about summertime, about time next Christmas, all this tariff stuff that he's doing, that's when you gonna feel it. By next Christmas, this coming Christmas, you're gonna see what that narrative, what the tariffs done, or what they will do to you and your pocket and what your cost of living and what it takes you to function in your household. You're gonna get a chance to see that. It's okay right now because all the warehouses are still stocked up whatever they got. But wait till that stuff start running out, and then they have to order more from China. That's when it's gonna get crazy, and then the market start crashing again, and you start losing jobs, and people start getting laid off. And wait till all that start happening. But right now, you popping your fan, okay? But remember, I told you though. But you don't have to believe me. Like I say, don't mind me, just watch it. But I'm gonna go ahead and lock that door for you. I'm definitely gonna do that. And if you ain't prepared for this, then it's gonna get real ugly, you know, because you choose to, wake up every morning like the man say, man, spend 24 hours on Clubhouse doing what you claim to be a millionaire. Why? Why are you on Clubhouse 24/7? It ain't like you're doing something fantastic over there. Not that I can see. Maybe in your mind it is, but it's not. It's not. It's just not. Let's see if anybody's. We we still poor, Melly. I ain't poor. I mean, I'm. Don't be poor in mind. You might be poor in money, but don't be poor in mind. You know what I mean? Because you can always create whatever you need to create. I'm trying to see what this guy said. I don't know why this thing is even in there like it is, and it's like bothering me. I don't know how did it get there or any of that. I don't know. I don't know why. I absolutely don't know why. Show on stage. New streaming, looking to level up. Check out streaming and get. I don't want to do that. I want you to not be there. Trump doing great things. I guess. I mean, hey, that's what you want to believe. You can't tell the farmers that he's doing great things. I'm telling you, you can believe what you want to believe. Even Candace Owens is struggling with Trump now, and she's been a Trump supporter from day one. It's gonna be you're gonna see a lot of change. People changing up about Trump. Watch. That's funny. He say Trump doing great thing. That's funny. That is hilarious, brother. That is hilarious. Yeah, I gotta find out how to get this up out of here because it's like blocking my comments, and I don't necessarily want it. I'm gonna guess. Look at the layout. Oh, that's the layout. Uh-huh. Yeah, I guess I'll figure it out at some point. I mean, but you guys get what I'm telling you, though, right? Show on stage. On stage. My 401k needs to be back. You're right, man. That's people 401ks is shrinking, you know. But everybody, the thing about it, I think people have their own selfish reasons why they support dude, right? But they're not concerned with the overall masses, how it's going to affect all the people. You know, they just in it for their own personal reasons, and I get it. You know, vote your interest. That's what they say, right? Vote your interest. Rocky Camel. Let's see. Let's see. What did he say? What's your thoughts on all this pushback with the Tesla lots and recalls now? You know what? There was something about Tesla. Even Marlene had to get rid of her Tesla. There was something about Tesla. I was this close to going to get one, and then I thought, you know, I didn't like the idea of sitting somewhere charging up at all kind of weird times. You roll in the gun and goes. I'm just want to pull up, yeah, dump that gas in there, and then I got choices on where I can go get gas. You know, I'm not reserved to this person or this place or that place. You specifically, there's gas on all corners, but that charger station, that's different. And then, people, man, they see you out there and they think you got some money, man. They gonna stick a gun in your face. You sitting there trying to get charged up. Somebody come with a big old goddamn it, man. Give it up and get beat up. Yeah. That happens too, So yeah. No, I think Tesla, man, I can't stand the big old ugly cyber trucks. I can't stand them. They just, man, they awful looking to me. King Mike, what's that? Yeah, it's Christine, Professor. Charging take more time than fueling up. It does, Rock Fresh, and that's the crazy part. Wow, man, I had Tesla but no Crocs. That's crazy. So what you saying? Mike, Crocs and Tesla go together with a bunch of rising tides, uplifting, and all boats. Yeah, then that's another problem, bro. They try to say that environment, the weather, and all that stuff is not being affected by certain things we do as humans. Yeah, it is. We just had in San Diego? They had a 5 point something earthquake just the other day. Shook up San Diego. I got to call ball game, see is he still shaking. How's your Tuesday, my Egyptian brother? My Tuesday is great, man. We don't never wear no Crocs. Marlena, you don't wear Crocs? No, I never wore none either. I think they the ugliest shoes ever. The three things I ain't never did. Bought a Tesla, wore Crocs, or bought a Popeye chicken sandwich. That's a fact. Remember when all those people were standing in line buying them chicken sandwiches, then they got to fighting. It was like Black Friday. Remember all the people used to be fighting and pepper spraying each other over over that BS. Man, the government has a way of, man, manipulating people, man, to do things. They had you standing in line 3 o'clock in the morning to buy Jordans. And then they had people, black people, standing in line fighting over chicken sandwiches. I thought that was hilarious. I still haven't eaten one of them chickens. I don't care, but I guess people, maybe they're enjoyable. I don't know. Smart enough to say I've never eaten one of them sandwiches either. Yeah, remember that? That was crazy. Now everybody out there popping their fan. You look just exactly like one of my cousins. Much respect. I appreciate that, man. I'm, I really appreciate that. I just try to be humble and nice and just give you guys good information and not be caught up with all this stuff. Like I say, I'm gonna go back to Loose Cannon. I don't know what Loose Cannon idea about what's about to happen to him, but trust and believe the whooping the government is gonna put on him is gonna be unbelievable. They say justice is a slow grind. Believe that, but while it's grinding, it's going to hit him so hard. All this content creating, all this lie. Bro, you in jail. Get your butt in the law library and study the law and figure out where they went wrong, because you made mistakes and they make mistakes. We're all human. The government make mistakes, but you got to be smart enough and witty enough and clever enough to go in and find the mistakes. And if you don't do that, they're going to lock the door on you. And you sitting around trying to, what's her name? Sharice Mills. I think she's a nice lady and everything, but at the same time that you're in a different fight right now, Luce. And if you don't pull yourself together and realize that the weight of the government is far more severe than Big U, Whack 100, Christopher Lovejoy, and all these other people that you might have differences with. I don't know. I don't know what y'all differences is. Jeffro Buford and Billy. That's their name. Billy Bob, who voted for her. Trump. That's funny, bro. That's real funny. But this was on time. Banner used to delete. Delete this comment. I don't try everything on this thing. It just won't get rid of it. She keep incriminating him. Yes, she do. Yes, she do. And it's sinking him further and further and further down the rabbit hole. And they don't know that all that stuff will wind up in court waiting on him when they go down there and he go to that pre-sentencing stuff and they do the pre-sentencing report. Oh, they're going to have all that information. When I was at MDCLA, right, and what they do, they give you a PAC number to use the phone. So they make sure that everything that you say on that phone is directly yours and nobody else's. Because they're going to know when you're on the phone, you got to put your PAC number in, right? The thing about that, when I was there, I didn't get on the phone for 3 months. Because I couldn't ascertain or even figure out remotely the level or the extent of what was happening until I was able to discern that, till I was able to put that into an equation and I was able to answer it. I just whipped through. I withdrew, and the people I was dealing with at the time, of course, they was mad because I wasn't contacting them, and they didn't know what was going on. The only thing they could do was show up at a court date, and then they could see me then. But I wasn't messing with that phone because I felt something about that phone. And sure enough, and I've seen a lot of people that was in the MDCLA got superseding indictments based on the phone. Street money, burnt out rap. Yeah, that's how did the street politics become a hostage to social media? That's a good answer. That's one of them, Asiatic Supreme. That is one, man. But where we hit it with all this, like I say, there's no precedence to what the internet, what the out. We're now beginning to see that people are getting indicted, of course, and we're seeing people business that's coming out, people telling other people's business, and then they was supposed to be comrades or buddy on certain situations, on licks and stuff. Then they start giving up the drawings and the blueprints and the architect of the of the game that they was out there playing. And they start turning over the designs. They start turning over the measurements and times and spaces and who was there and all that. Just casually by sitting on no jumper. And and all the time, no jumper was wired for sound. The guy Adam is not going to tell you that. He's not going to ever mention that. Never. Because whatever he made agreement, whether he made agreement with the U.S. attorney or whether they got into his building and wired it up unknown to him, I don't know. But I know it's one of the two. Nobody stops the government from getting in where they want to get in at and setting up whatever they need to set up. Nobody stops them. Nobody. So I don't care how much money you got, how much you claim you're a millionaire or you this and that and the third and all that stuff. Don't work. Don't work. I was in the feds and there was a guy, he was a doctor. And he was like, yeah, man, I got a big mansion over. He lived in, I think it was Coronado in San Diego, where the big mansion's at in San Diego. I think that's where it was. But anyway, he was telling me about his boats and his yachts and his Lamborghini, Ferrari, and Rolls Royce, and super rich guy, right? Telling me about all this. He was like, my lawyer's gonna come in and do what he needs to do, and he's gonna get me out. And then I said, well, what's the offer on the table? He said, they try to give me a year and a day, and I take my practice. And they take my practice, and I have to pay a fine. I asked him, what was the fine? He told me. I said, will that finish you? You'll be broke? Oh, no, I got plenty of money. Middle Eastern guy, right? So I'm sitting there talking about it. I said, Doc, man, you might want to take that, that year and a day and, cut your ties, cut your losses and go out there and, go back. You seem like you got a nice wife and 2 kids coming to see you. And you may lose your practice, but you got a master's degree, a doctorate, or whatever you got. You're a smart guy. You'll figure it out. Loose wife, only fan models, they say. Yeah, so I'm telling him all this stuff, right? So he's telling me, no, brother, I'm taking it to trial. I got the best attorney, and I paid $1 million for my attorney. I said, huh? I said, Doc, let me tell you something, man. What they got here is sentencing guidelines. There are mandatory minimums for certain crimes. Now, you got a fraud case. You going up in front of one of the worst judges for fraud, which is Letts, Judge Letts. They called him Let It Go Letts because Letts was super nice on drug cases. But if you came in there with fraud, you didn't want to be in front of Letts. Like Manny Real, and they had Killer Kelly, Manny Real and Stephen B. Wilson was the judge me and Gangster had. The same judge that gave Ray Browning that life sentence out of Pasadena. Same guy, right? So he's telling me all this. So I'm telling him, man, take the year and a day, man. Take it. No, brother, it's not, I'm not doing it. I have a good attorney. I have a very expensive attorney out of Beverly Hills. I said, bro, ain't none of that. You probably would have did better just going with a panel attorney. He said, no, I don't risk myself like that. I believe in an attorney. Why that man went to trial and lost and got 20 years? Next time I seen him, he was in Terminal Island and his head was down. He was hit like good weed. His head was so down that 2 years into the bid, he walking around, he's still talking to me. I'm talking to him. I'm trying to coach him. I'm trying to keep him, the San Diego Beverly Hills. I'm trying to keep him out of a suicide watch because in the feds, they got suicide watch. They got big old psychology building with doctors and therapists that you can go there and lay down on the couch and tell them your problems. And they give you some Haldol, some Thorazine, and some Get Right or whatever, Get Right medicine, right? Doc go over there. Man, Doc ready to go to soup. Man, that wife came up there. It was like 2 years and she came up there and told that man, I can't do it no more. I'm leaving you. I'm taking the kids and I'm going back to, I think, what was it called? It wasn't Egypt. But I can't think of it. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, she was going back to one of the Middle Eastern countries. Yeah. And she did it moving, sold his cars, sold his house, sold everything that did it move. When I seen him, man, they was carting him over there to the suicide watch. Hit. It goes to show you, man, you think you smarter than these people or you think you got this stuff figured out. And if they come with an offer, Brick Baby, loose cannon. If they come with 10, take it. Take the 10. It's going to hurt, but take the 10. Because if you don't take the 10, that 10 going to turn to 20 or 30. And that's a fact. So they might charge you, they might dismiss all the other counts because here's the thing, they give you what's called foreseeable. Taking responsibility for whatever your part is. It doesn't involve you indicating anybody or bringing anybody's name. It's about acceptance of responsibility. Acceptance of responsibility. Once you do that, lose a wife, I'm finna be going by Christmas. Lost wife, finna be going by Christmas. Loose wife. Loose wife might be gone sooner than that, bro, to be honest with you. So, yeah. If they offer them 10, take the 10. Because basically, when I look at the Hobbs Act, which is robbery and extortion, that's more likely with loose cannon guy. Brick Baby, they able to give him an armed career criminal because he been caught with too many different guns. It's up to the U.S. attorney whether he want to file it. But he got a 0 to 20. Loose Cannon looking at a 10 to life. Big U looking at a 20 to life. Based on the crimes and my knowledge of the citizen guidelines. And when I looked at the statutes, the 18 U.S. 846, 18 U.S. 51, 924E, and I looked at the Hobbs Act, and I looked at all them different kinds because they charge an indictment. Then you got the extortions, right? Then you got quote unquote there's a murder in there, but the murder. They already said the DNA is inconclusive. They cannot necessarily pin that on that man, right? And I'm not gonna get into it with nobody whether he did it or didn't do it. That's not my business. What I am offering is that you go in and you start following motions. Motions to suppress, motions to dismiss. You file it in alignment motion. That's the threshold. You follow Jinx material, Brady. You file all those motions. You follow suppress, dismiss, Jinx, Brady, and alignment motion. The threshold motion. That is the motion that where you can see all the people that have been throwing rocks and hiding their hand. If you're gonna go to trial, Big U, that's what you do. Because a lot of that stuff is forum shopping. Foreign shopping, searching for a bigger venue. It's also fruit from a poisonous tree. The fruit from the poisonous tree is that somebody got caught up by the feds, and what they did, they decided to give them you. You became the sacrificial lamb. And then they started calling you Big U Enterprise and all this other stuff that they label you. So all those are shock words, especially for court purposes, so they can, demonize you. That's what it all boils down to. They're looking to demonize you and they're looking to cripple you. And once they cripple you, you'll never be seen in outside of a prison wall. So just know that. But what I'm saying that you guys make sure you go. If anybody listen, tell them guys all these motions. I'm gonna tell you the Brady's, Paula Brady's, Jinx, motion to suppress evidence, right? Motion to dismiss. And also file show calls. Show calls to why. This dude said he produced the same Nas best record. The dude is really like, yeah, he's a liar, bro. He's a liar. He's a liar. That's all he is. He's still in jail lying on the internet with Cerise Mills, who's a OnlyFans model. I think that she came from OnlyFans or something. I don't know. Remember the dude started telling a lie about Shani O'Neal and stuff. Like, the Black China lady, I could see her. She's Black China's, he said he was with her, but who is she? She's made up anyway. She better go get rid of that BBL. I've been hearing a lot of bad things about the BBLs. They're like, BBL. Maybe that's why Gorilla made that song. Ooh, 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 ooh. She kept smelling the BBL. Yeah, but anyway, so he filed all that. Brady's Jinx, motion suppress, show calls, and he filed it in Lemonade motion, threshold, right? And that's pretty much it, and just challenge the government on what they're saying because they're going to charge in duplicity. All them charges is really, there's multiple charges in there that could get dismissed. They're not really got that. But what Brick Baby's going to have to stand under is the fact that the feds took 2 or 3 guns from him. Loose Cannon going to have to stand under that Hobbs Act. So anytime you leave Las Vegas and you come to LA and you commit a robbery, that's a Hobbs Act. That's ineffective commerce. He was ineffective commerce. He ineffective commerce by leaving Las Vegas, coming to Los Angeles, pistol whoop and robbing. They got all that stuff because No Jumper provided them with the watch. He talked about the watch. You see, they talked about the actual robbery in the interviews and all that stuff. So they got all that footage. So again, if they offer him 10, take it, go lay down. Crip Mac should be home by, let's see, Crip Mac. His date said January something. So I say about August, maybe August, September, Crip Mac should be out. Yeah, but anyway, so this thing is going to get real ugly for these people. And I feel bad for them because they really don't know you, Black China. Rocky Cap. Yeah, Blue Scanner say that was his woman, Black China. You seen her mama? what's the deal with her? Appreciate you, Gracie. Appreciate peace. Shout out to you, man. Riot Recordings, man. What's going on, man? Yeah, we just sitting here chopping it up a little bit. You know, I've been off for a few days because I had to handle some other stuff. And then the fact that my truck was in the shop, that didn't do good. And then being over in Eastvale, the internet is terrible in Eastvale. Terrible. That's a whole nother struggle right there because it's all fully new developed over there. And they ain't got up all the towers they need to have up over there for the internet to function properly. You know, so we're dealing with that. But anyway, we back. We back, man. We here. I'm here for to cover some of the events and just try to do this thing right. And don't be making up no stuff and lying on people on the internet. And then you see these people now, they don't put these people names and addresses on the internet. Boy, that's wild. That's wild. That is real wild. Whatever you guys do, I don't care how you do it, but don't go to no jumper. Nope. And you don't be one of them individuals say it won't happen to me. Nope, don't be that individual. Just don't go. Don't deal with that. Keep doing what you're doing, how you're doing it. Because consistency topples and supersedes anything. Just being consistent. Whatever you do. It don't matter if you're climbing trees, building a bicycle, or laying concrete, whatever. Just be consistent, you know. Driving trucks, whatever it may be. Just be consistent. Being consistent topples everything, you know. Nobody can take that from you. Thank you, Marlena. Mike wants you to get some Crocs. Get you and the baby a pair of Crocs, Marlena. Get both of y'all some pink ones. Happy belated 50th birthday. Whose birthday is it? Mike ain't no 50, I know. Mike a youngster. Oh, yesterday was your birthday. Okay, you're Aries. Okay, happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday, man. One time for the birthday boy, two times for the birthday boy, two times for the hey. Happy birthday to you, man. I knew Mike was 50. Mike, you grumpy like Grady off of Stanford and Son. You grumpy like Grady, man. And you a young man. That's crazy. What they call them, YNs? Yeah, so I got to get the count back up, get people more back over here, let them know we back on live. So those jumpers used to get some solid interviews with the hip hop artists, and then they pigeonholed. Yeah, that's what they did. They definitely pigeonholed themselves. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But they let the cancer in. See, once the cancer get in, it metastasize, and then you don't hit it with the radiation, then it doesn't go away. And then once you open the cancer up, or you open the wound up, then the cancer metastasizes. It's over, man. This stuff, man, gang banging and all that stuff is a cancer. It is a cancer. Make no distinction about that. And then, but you got people that love it, though. They love it to the degree that they really risk everything. Like I said, I heard some of the things that Munchie B was saying. I think he's a good guy, but at the same time, his thinking ain't right. I ain't never finna claim nothing. Some dudes that I hung out with shot me or whatever. I'm done with that. Real talk, Luce should have a legit with this. Yeah, you're right. Sweetie brand. Sweetie. Yeah, he might become somebody's sweetie up in there, Joe. He might become somebody's sweetie up there. The man's name is Ashley now. I like, man, how you get that name? That's weird. Thanks, Professor. Yeah, the man's name is that. Definitely Ashley. But anyway, guys, we don't spend the hour up in here. I appreciate each and every last one of you amazing and incredible people. Listen to me sit here and ramble for a whole hour. That's amazing in itself. But yet I think we talked about some very vital things, or things that was pertinent, that substantive, and things that you can go look at and later on do a cross reference and see how it lines up, and see how, that you keep yourself safe, free, and clear. Give yourself a chance. Be smart, be safe, and don't be in your own way, but give yourself a chance. That's what life is all about. With that being said, I am Professor Melly Mel, the Hood Postman. Don't mind me just watching. Church moving, but go ahead and lock that door.
Cali Finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen. Word on the block is that my shit go. Reach for the low.
Lock the door, because we are gone.